What's up, guys? My name is Garnett Strother from Strother Personal Technologies, and today we're going to be talking with some of my esteemed female colleagues from the fitness industry. I feel like the fitness industry could use a little bit more balance from both ends of the perspective, the consumer and the fitness professional. So I invited some of my favorite trainers to come in and talk about their individual experiences to shed a little bit of light on how and what it takes to become a fitness entrepreneur in this day and age. All right, today we're going to be discussing some very integral pieces of the fitness industry with some of my esteemed colleagues. Just introduce yourselves and then we're going to get started. We'll start with my friend to my left.
I'm Danielle. I've been in the fitness industry for about 2 years. I specialize in strength and conditioning, and I also really enjoy a lot of like body weight cardio.
Cool, all right. To my right, we have
Kenny Andrew. I've been in the industry for about 4.5 years. I do specialize as well in conditioning and some rehab work.
fabulous. And to my far right,
I'm Kat Ellis. I am a personal trainer and strength and conditioning coach. And I am also previously certified.
fabulous. Okay, so first question I want to throw at you guys. Why did you guys get started in fitness?
I was formerly in the tech industry. I was in it for 4 years or so. I was super sedentary. Did not like exercise my entire life. Actively resisted it since high school, and got a personal trainer. He was very aesthetics driven and just kind of made it about results. Which is fine, but I really sort of got really passionate when I met this other female trainer, and her whole philosophy is training for the feeling, training for mental health, and the aesthetic results are just a fun added bonus, and that sort of just made me kind of fall in love with the whole thing. And I quit my job I think 3 months after working with her, and then here I am.
Sweet. We're glad to have you. Thank you for quitting that job and blessing us with your presence.
Heck, wow.
Wow. Yeah. I mean,
that.
it must have been quite the change, to go from tech to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Change.
Okay. We'll get back to you in a second about that. I got some more follow-up questions. And how'd you get started, Kende?
I got started, I've always been into fitness. I ran track, played basketball, tennis in high school. Had a scholarship to run track in college.
Oh, nice.
And back then I wasn't really into strength training, so my first track meet, the girls terrified me. They're a lot more toned and bigger than I was, and I was like, oh yeah, we're not doing this. So I just majored in marketing throughout college, and when I left college, I went into the fashion industry. So I was there for 10 years, and it was at the 10-year mark that I was unhappy with it. And at the time, I kind of got back into fitness and working out. And I was like, you know what, I need to make a career change. I'm not happy, I don't want to be fashion anymore. And my twin sister was the one who nudged me into the fitness industry. She goes, you work out all the time, you study about this, why don't you just pursue a career in the fitness industry? And I was like, you're right, it's something I enjoy, I do it all the time, and that's when I just transitioned.
Okay, sweet. Twin sister, a little influence there. Okay,
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, Kat, share with us the genesis of your journey.
So I was a professional dancer and danced most of my life, went to school for it, moved to New York to do it professionally. And when I first moved to New York, I was bartending, and I did not love bartending, but I still needed a flexible job where I could make a lot of money in a very precise amount of time that would not take away from my dance schedule, rehearsals, auditions, and all of that. And so a audition website that I always followed, a fitness studio posted on it saying that they were looking for dancers to teach a group fitness class. I was like, cool, I work out, I can teach music, I got a lot of dance teaching experience. So I went and I auditioned, and that kind of led me into teaching a lot of group fitness. And I did that primarily while I was still dancing full time. And then gradually I started getting into personal training, fell in love with that. Dance started to not be quite so rewarding. And then I decided to make the full shift into being a trainer full time.
Nice. I have a question, a couple follow-up questions for everybody, but starting with you. So when you were going into the group fitness, I used to do group fitness myself. I first started like 15 years ago teaching karate to like kids, and how did you find the transition from going from group training, speaking to a crowd, to working with someone one-on-one?
For a long time, honestly up until maybe a year ago, I did both simultaneously, and I kind of felt like the dichotomy of doing both was really nice.
Yeah.
Because group fitness definitely spoke to my performance background. I'm very comfortable in front of people, very comfortable moving in front of people. You had music in the midst of that. It was almost like being on stage in a lot of ways. But when I started to fall in love with the one-on-one training was when I didn't have to be so on all the time.
Right.
I could just kind of be a quieter person. But then I could also affect change in someone so much more. So much more specificity, so much more individualization. And that's kind of what has gradually led me to kind of leave group fitness behind and focus on that, just because I thought my time could be used in a more effective way for that individual.
Nice.
But I think both have their perks.
Yeah, I feel so as well. I think that group fitness allows you to kind of like be a character and project yourself a little more, whereas it's not as intense in some way. Even though you're on, being with a human dealing with their individual needs and wants is a lot more focused and laser beam. So yeah, I definitely feel you on that. So what was it like, Kende, to transfer from being an athlete to teaching people? What kind of shifts did you have to make for yourself in order to be able to give what you've learned to someone? Because not all athletes are great instructors, but you're a great instructor.
I think what helped me was my background in the fashion industry.
Okay.
You're always in front of people, and you're dealing with very tough personalities. So connecting with people on that level was very easy for me. So transitioning wasn't like a hard thing, but I feel like being where I was and the exposure I had with personalities and the challenges just helped me a lot with my clients and really connecting with them on a personal level.
Got you. Have you ever done group fitness by any chance?
Oh, I did. We're just talking about it. Don't like it. Not my thing. I just felt like I had to be this person. I had to be this personality.
Yeah.
I didn't feel authentic about it.
Yeah.
And also, you can't really individualize things. And I was really big on that.
Right. That's why I made the jump too.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it.
It's cool. I learned little tricks from group fitness, like being able to you see me cue my clients and I'm looking somewhere else, I'm looking at a reflection in the mirror so I can get a different angle on what they're doing. Because I'm used to teaching classes where I got to watch everybody and they're all my kids. So it's really, that stuff I take with me still at personal training.
And to your point, with you being very comfortable in front of everyone, that I was very comfortable.
Okay.
Being on stage terrifies me to be in a large group of people.
Right.
I'm not comfortable in that setting.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I would start here and then I just trail off. All right, I'm tired, you're tired. Good night, everybody.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's dope. That takes a very specific, very strong psychology and a very specific skill set to do that, So my hat off to you.
Yeah.
So Dee, why'd you, when you were transitioning from tech, right, how did you know that you had the gift of being a fantastic trainer?
So the general population in my eyes, outside of New York, which is pretty obsessed with fitness, but a lot of people, at least in my circle, really resist exercise.
Okay.
And then when I found it in my own terms, my thought was this is the most amazing thing ever, and it's such a simple, accessible, in a lot of ways, way to increase your quality of life.
Right.
And so I just want to show these people that it can be this thing that's not about not liking your body or feeling like you have to do it, and it's really an opportunity and a gift, rather than this task that is tied into shame and something that you have to do. So it was literally just about like, oh, I just want to reframe it for people that have resisted it forever, like I have.
Yes.
So
That's awesome. That's literally why I started as well. I had a lot of sick people in my family, and unfortunately, a lot of them didn't make it. I was one of those sick people in my family, so I had to do something, or else I was probably going to die, or just be sick for the rest of my life. So I think that that's a very noble reason to start training people. Is because you see something within yourself. You want to give to other people. I mean, there's no better reason to start training than that. That's really cool. All right, so second question. I think the heart of the matter is like, what's it like being a woman in a male-dominated industry, and how do you navigate that successfully as it stands now? Because you all are independent trainers, you all work for yourselves, you're all entrepreneurs. However, you have a lot different pitfalls than your male counterparts have. How do you guys navigate that successfully and still come out on top? Let's start with Dee.
I don't know. I've been trying to think and sit with that question, and I think that something that the positive of it is that we are the minority in that, and so that is in itself can be framed as a benefit or a superpower.
I see.
That like you're the different version, and I think that a lot of people tend to feel safer opening up to women, and that's a huge generalization, but from my experience, that's been it. And this is such a vulnerable, intimate exchange that you have with your client.
It is.
So, being a woman, I identify as a woman. I feel that sometimes that's like a benefit because they feel like they can open, and when they feel safe, that's when the magic happens. That's when progress is made. So yeah, that's like something that I think is important. And then in terms of like the more challenging parts, like I just feel like I'm around so much like masculine energy all the time. So trying to find ways, and by masculine I don't necessarily mean male. I just mean like aggressive, activated, focused, like
Testosterone.
yes, filled spaces. And so the way that I try to handle it is just like being in touch with more feminine practices, like more parasympathetic activities, like yoga, calm, relaxation. But yeah.
Thank you for that. I think that that's something that everybody should do if they're in the fitness industry, is to take care of their their nervous system, and then, because it's a lot. Like even I feel it, and because I'm always like fighting or whatever, and I feel like, like I'm just around a lot of testosterone, and the only thing I would like to be around is like this dope feminine energy to relax me, because it's a lot for me. So I can imagine how you guys feel.
To meet, I don't think there should be a difference between the two. Like skill is what matters. That being said, our coworker the other day put out a post being like, "Oh, I'm looking for a trainer in the Upper East Side or something," and I think he got 3 female trainers that were like, "Oh, I can take it," and he gets back to that person. He's like, "I got 3 really qualified, incredible trainers," and the person goes, "No, I want a guy."
Yes.
And I was like, "Oh my God! Like I can't believe that idea exists, and that this person is rejecting 3 great candidates purely because of our sex." Like it just feels so infuriating and upsetting.
Yeah, I think within our industry, it's easy to decipher, okay, you know someone has a skill set. You're not really judging based on gender. But when it comes to consumers, that's why they judge the trainers. It's more like, you know what, I'd rather have a male because I feel like it can make me stronger, work harder.
She's gonna get it more, yeah.
Because I don't really see it as skill set
Yeah.
as we do within the industry.
Right.
Exactly. There was also a comedian that she's a female, and her and I briefly talked about training, and then she got a male trainer, and in her podcast she said something like, I just really want a big strong man to tell me what to do. And I was like, okay, got it. That's like not me. So inherently my idea of giving you strength does not fit your, like as her consumer side, I'm not fitting her ideas of what will give her the results that she wants.
Does that sound like it's more than fitness though? I want a big strong man to tell me what to do, kind of.
I feel like it's also like there are some power dynamics with clients.
Yeah.
Like, over time, like I've had several of my clients be like, I would love for my husband to work like you, but like he just won't take like corrections from a woman, or I'll be like, or like another candidate would be a same guy, like he's like, I'm not working with another guy because I don't want another guy telling me what to do.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
So it's just, I think sometimes like people's own power struggles play into whoever they decide to work with as well.
But also, like, I had a client recently that I just started training on the east side, and he was like, yeah, you're a female, my Pilates instructor's a female, my yoga instructor's a female. I just feel better working with females because you guys are much softer. Mm-hmm. And I was like, Steve, I could go hard on you. You know, he had this perception.
Watch out.
You know,
Right.
I was like, oh, I could go hard on you.
Totally.
Sometimes you got to flex on them like that. Wow, I really appreciate that input, guys. This is stuff that I never get to hear. I never, like, I worked on the opposite side. I worked for a really brilliant but chauvinistic dude where you guys would never be able to exist in this climate.
Right.
It would be a lawsuit or a punch in the face ready to happen. Because this place was so volatile. It was all dudes, all like just, you know, white dudes. And like me, I think I was me and like 3 other guys, probably other black trainers. But he has the guy who owned the place had like racial issues and deep issues with women. So there was one woman there the whole time, and he just like beat her verbally all the time, just beat down on her all the time. And you know, I never really, you know, got to hear this conversation. And again, I just want to thank you guys for coming in and talking about this. You know, I'm gonna be thanking you guys in between each one because I'm learning as I go along too. Like this is
I think that's that mentality. I think is why so many women don't get into like the strength and conditioning side of this industry. They lean more towards fitness or yoga or Pilates because those seem like safe areas. But then the downside of that is you miss out on a lot of knowledge that comes from learning perhaps in those environments from guys who are very strong and who have spent decades in the gym.
Right.
And again, it doesn't mean that like we can't do the same things. We have the same bodies. We're very capable. We should learn how to do all that stuff. But somehow that I think that perception of like a strength conditioning facility lifting weights is just like a grow hour.
Yeah.
It's like it has been in my experience not the case. I work for a male-owned facility. I work for a company run by a man and a woman. I work for females. Like again, I think that sadly is like a stereotype in this industry that needs to get like, not that it doesn't exist because it would have been created if it hadn't existed, but there are, I think there needs to be more space to see how that kind of training can exist in a different environment.
Exactly. So you touched on a little bit about how your learning process is, being around someone that's had decades in the gym. What is your learning process like? How do you guys learn what you learn? If that's the case, you're not going to be able to get a mentor to teach you and show you how to do these things, who respects you as a fellow trainer. How do you learn things, Kende?
In terms of like continuing education?
Yeah, like furthering your own knowledge.
I mean, I usually go with people I feel comfortable with, and people who sort of like mimic the same like philosophy and principles with my training. I would say I haven't had the chance to learn from female trainers. You know, all my educators have been male. My mentors have been male trainers. So I really haven't had that exposure to the opposite sex. I would like that. I don't think there's enough of that out there. Like when you go to a certified body, it's dominated by a male who runs it.
Yeah.
What about you, Kat? How do you?
I think I've been really fortunate to be in environments where, you know, I've been able to like ask questions and I've been able to work alongside people, and not necessarily in like a mentee-mentor relationship, but just alongside them to watch. Because I do think that sometimes even if you're not comfortable necessarily asking the questions, there's a lot that can be learned just by like sitting in the background and watching very skilled people do their jobs. And like gradually, I think that's the other thing this industry has taught me more and more, and the longer I've been in it, is like you do get more comfortable speaking up for yourself, because you realize that like sometimes what you may perceive as going on is not that person's personality at all, and they actually like people really like to talk about themselves, really like to talk about their processes. So sometimes it's I think you have to like get out of your own way and not see it as like asking questions as a form of weakness or a form of like a lack of knowledge, but more of just like a curiosity.
Right.
And I think that and again, and if for whatever reason you get shut down, I would argue like get out.
Right.
Find another outlet. But to your point, I agree with you. There could be more. In addition to having, I think most of the people that have given me a lot of opportunities in this industry, well, they've probably been equally male and female, but recently been more male. I think that like hopefully one day there's more females doing the same thing for both genders. And I think that like that to your point, I think that the scales are slightly tipped for women in that way.
Speaking of curiosity, Danielle is known for asking a lot of questions.
Am I?
She's like, yeah, but why? Does that happen? She's the philosopher at Trade Station. So, but she's really good. That's the first thing I noticed about Danielle, was that she's like not afraid to ask questions about the intricate details of training. So, and that's what makes a great trainer. That's how I learned everything I learned in martial arts. That's how I was able to, transfer that knowledge over to people that I trained. That psychology behind it. How do you learn things after you've got the answers and the questions? How do you and continue your education?
Okay, great question. So what I was mentioning earlier is that I do not learn well from the internet, and like that is a huge resource for trainers, is the internet, and I use it on occasion, but I am so much more fulfilled when I'm learning from a person or learning from like a class or a trainer, and somebody can tell me why and like can walk me through the reasons something is the case. So a lot of people I know, like I said, go on YouTube, learn cueing from there.
On YouTube.
Yeah, and I just like that has never worked for me. I like this feels like
I wish you could
nails
see
scratching on
Kat's
the wall.
face right now of horror from learning from YouTube. What's wrong with learning from YouTube?
Well,
There are a lot of good resources.
It's not
to
bad.
learn
There are
from.
pros and cons. It depends
Yes.
who you're learning from.
But I'm just saying, but there are some reputable educators on YouTube that teach stuff, and I'm saying like I know that resource exists, yet I can't learn that way, and I get so much joy like going into a class or even just seeing how somebody like makes like a dynamic flow and like what moves they chose or what decisions they made, and asking questions, like you said. Asking a ton of questions from people on the floor. I think watching is like the most underrated way, as you said, to learn. Just like not even saying anything, just noticing like how someone's responding to a client or something like that. But yes, one-on-one in-person interaction. And then on top of that, being new to this field is so difficult because people are training. Okay, we were all at one point.
But you're not, dude. I see you as.
I was new.
I'm just saying that I consider you as masterful at what you do. I consider all you guys as masterful. I don't want to interrupt. Continue.
Okay, and so my point is, when, as a new person, you are positioned as a professional, as already someone who has a ton of knowledge, but you're new, so you only have this, or you don't have as much as like you could have, especially compared to like your peers and whatnot. And so it's just like such an uncomfortable space to be in being new in a space when you're supposed to be positioned as an expert.
Right.
People are paying you to be an expert.
Right.
And so knowledge becomes like this really weird thing in personal training, where some people like safeguard it and some people don't really want to share it.
Yeah.
And then some people
Overshare.
It's hard to
Overshare.
Yeah, or their ego is tied into how much they have.
Yeah.
And so then when you ask them a question, it's like this whole weird dance when it's really should just be like an overflow.
So here's the thing. Yeah, I think, so you're saying that you've been mansplained quite a bit on the gym floor, you guys, would you say?
I would say yes. I strongly
I have
would
not
say
had that
yes.
experience.
No way.
Very lucky.
Really?
I think that's the environment.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've never worked in a traditional commercial gym environment where I think that probably happens more often than not.
Right.
I've always been in like very smaller independent spaces.
Right.
So again, I feel very fortunate, but I've had colleagues show that quite a bit, and I'm like, oh my god. So I feel blessed in that way. But, yeah.
My mentor would stop my session and be like, sorry, like, hold on, what are you doing here?
No.
You got to get the spine parallel. Look, come on, get the hamstring parallel to the ground. Get him in there. Let's go. I'm like, dude, I'm like literally working right now. Can you wait for after, maybe? You guys are in a tremendous space. I really admire where you're working from. I know you guys have only been training for like 3 to 5 years, but it's a new day, and you guys are going to be at the forefront of where training is going to be. And I think you guys should look into yourselves to be mentors for other women coming up, because you guys will make phenomenal instructors for women, and I don't see you guys producing anything but champions as far as the industry is concerned. So maybe you guys should consider that. You know, maybe like sharing your knowledge with some other women, so you can be that change that you guys needed when you needed it. You know what I'm saying? Last question, the big one: where do you see the fitness industry headed for women, as a woman? Where do you see it going, and as its current trajectory is unfolding? Things are changing, things are shifting. How are things going to be? How do you see things changing in the next 3 to 5 years?
What I feel like is lacking in the industry now are female strength and conditioning professionals or personal trainers. I'm not going to even put it, I say strength and conditioning just because that's a world we all work in, but
sure.
Like, personal trainers, I hope there are more really female-owned businesses and like I'm gonna say female trainer-owned businesses that are opened alongside like what's currently out there, because I feel like that's like a lot of the stuff you look at now that is female-owned. It's all like a specific method, or it's either like so like pink and like ultra feminine, or it's like highly emotionally targeted, and there's not really this space for women who just want to show up and train. I feel like I have not seen, I think like individual trainers work like that, and like that's our client base, like people are coming to us to work out. In terms of people who are leading the industry and talking about like how to better enhance female athletes or how to better target female special populations, I think there needs to be the female entrepreneurs that are contributing to that more alongside their male counterparts, because I feel like now it's men who are giving these incredible women opportunities like ourselves to like showcase what we can do, and there's not enough women alongside them doing the same thing.
There was an article I read in Forbes, and he said like the global wellness is like a $4.2 trillion industry, and it's predominated by women. But you don't really see us like promoting like strength, pure strength. And it comes down to what consumers want. You know, like how can we market this, make it more palatable for them to understand like strength is a good thing. You know, make them feel powered and feminine, because they also want to tap into that side as well.
Sounds
and that's
good.
what I'm trying to do. Power movement, go in the gym, throw some weights, and still look cute, get your nails done.
No, and I think there's like a thought that like if I don't know, like I have female coworkers as well who are like they are stronger than me, faster than me, but we're all like talking about like where we went out, or like you know like the new outfit we want to go buy. Like that's not missing. Like those innate female qualities are not missing in a gym space. Like they can still exist. And I think there's a thought that like if you're doing like a deadlift that's like double your body weight, like somehow that's like not a feminine thing.
Totally.
Absolutely. I had one of my followers, I think I was deadlifting or doing a Turkish get up, and she said, how can someone be so feminine and fragile, lift that much weight?
Whoa.
Maybe they're correlating that femininity and fragility, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, like there's no duality. You could be strong and still be feminine at the same time.
Yeah, well,
I weirdly feel so feminine deadlifting. Like it feels
That's right.
like I don't know what it is, but I feel like so grounded in my like I don't know female spirit, and like it feels such like a strong act. It does not feel like my whatever. Anyway, male side is getting it. Like it feels like a very strong moment for.
I feel feminine deadlifting too, actually. I feel very, especially if I'm deadlifting next to like Kara. So yeah, I'm like, oh yeah.
For probably.
I'll see you guys later. Shout out to Kara. She's supposed to be here, but she's out of town. So.
Also, like you describing that place of like women who just like want to train. Like I want that so badly. Like I wish that place existed.
Yeah, well, I feel like there's definitely I think there's a space for, definitely where like I think being a woman in a one-on-one relationship with a woman and only wanting to work with a woman has its place. Especially like I can understand it with like pre and postnatal training. Like
right.
We're gonna relate to that a little bit more than you are.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, and or also like I think there are some groups of women from a religious perspective. They can't.
Yeah, it's true.
And like revealed in any way in front of the guy, and like I understand that.
Or make physical contact.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, there's still just like again, I feel like everything you see that's like targeted towards women, like you read magazines, like make your butt look good, like make your arms look toned, and then sometimes you see the male counterpart to that, and it's like get your strongest squat. I'm like, well, I want my strongest squat, like, and like my strongest squat is also going to make my butt look amazing. So it's sort of like I think there's just like a language that is targeted towards us that is not seen for. Like, or it's not geared toward, like, to your point, it's marketing and it's like a consumer message that's not geared towards men the same way.
It's such a disconnect.
It is. I have one more question. Yeah. How do we change the narrative of that being such a, the ultra, like, pink femininity aspect of training where, like, a girl shouldn't be strong and they shouldn't have to lift weights and they should probably just do yoga and Pilates every day, and they shouldn't worry about their deadlift. How do we change that narrative of that association with squats and heavy weights makes you like less of a woman? And how do we shift that to empowerment, where you guys feel it every day? You guys look feminine, you guys are feminine, you feel feminine, and you live the life that you're supposedly not supposed to be living. And it's real. So how would you approach changing that narrative for the future?
I think a lot of it comes down to education, and I think the more we talk about the benefit, I think people are coming around to like everyone knows strength training is good for them, but I think I think sometimes when I'll hear it from people all the time, like I don't want to look like the women who do CrossFit. And I'm like, you have to understand that what they are putting their bodies through is not what I'm going to be able to do with you 2 hours a week. Like, it's not the same thing. And they are training for that because that is their performance goal. If your goal is you just want to feel stronger and look good, then those are two very different things. And I think there's somehow they see things as not being what they are. And I think the more the space we continue to take up alongside, like I'll do the same deadlift you do, and like obviously we look very different, or like we're all doing the same thing, we have very different bodies. Like you realize that the capability leads to a better performance versus just an aesthetic. Like to your point, it's not always just about aesthetics, but like the performance aspect of it as well. But yeah, I think the more education that continues to come out from solid sources, the less people will start to associate as it being one thing or the other.
Right. Yeah.
I agree with that. Even like just educating our clients too.
Yeah.
Like we have the power of educating them. Like I've had clients who are like, oh, my thigh's gonna get too thick if I just lift this much weight, or my trap's gonna get too big, and just debunking like this sort of like myths they've sort of been exposed to, and say, no, you're not gonna look like that. Yeah. So it starts with like how we communicate and talk to our clients.
Yeah. Great question. I think about it.
Thank you. That's a lot coming from the question master.
Thank you. It's so interesting that as women, we get a lot of messaging of like, you need to be strong, but like you can't be too big, and like you should be able to go to the gym, but like there are certain workouts or things that aren't like designed for you, and I feel like there needs to be like a fundamental shift too, that like ask the question of like, why are we afraid to get big? Like just because you don't want to get big, like why are you so scared to get big? And like why is everyone just terrified that like lifting more than like 10 pounds is gonna get them big. And like, what is the root of that? Who made that idea? Like, who told us that in the first place? I feel like that is language that I use a lot with my female clients of like just education. Like, it's not necessarily about how heavy the weight is. It's also about volume, eating in a surplus. Like, people who get big try really hard to get big, and it doesn't just like happen one day. You're like, oh fuck, I'm huge.
Oops. Like, oh man, damn, son.
It takes time.
And I think the thing is like
Doesn't
seeing
happen.
that as something like to not strive against. I mean, these are people that are like crushing these incredible feats of athleticism, and you're just like, no, that's to be respected. And they're kind of having the same like in regards to like their own training, their own performance, like trying to like make a way for themselves as well. And so like again, that's something to be respected and admired, not something to fear. And I think that like somehow, again, to your point, I don't know how it happened, but like that was seen as something we shouldn't strive for. And I think it's something we absolutely should strive for. Like, I would love to do, if I could do a CrossFit competition and like clean and then do a handstand walk, like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm done.
That's insane. Right, like that stuff is insane. Yeah.
Yeah, and like, they look strong, and like that's to be respected.
Yeah. And also going back to like the reason that I got into fitness in the first place is about like the feeling, and like when you're in it for how you feel and like you hit an accomplishment or like a performance goal, that I think is so much more sustainable and will take you so much longer than getting fit for a wedding.
Right.
Even though that's a completely noble goal, but like when you're able to like tie in these other things, it becomes way more a part of your lifestyle.
You know, the longer you do this, the more likely it is to happen. When you look different in a setting like this, people, you know, tend to not know it, but just project their things onto you.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
so yeah.
hearing that woman say like, "I want a big, strong man to tell me what to do," was like upsetting, and it just sucks when someone has no idea what your skill set is or your background, but has an idea of who should be telling them what to do in the gym, and it's not you, and so you can't even try.
Sure.
So
Yeah, well, I personally feel all that way as well. When it's a reason why you don't see a lot of high-paid African American male trainers. If you look at the African American male trainers that you've ever watched, any one of them, I guarantee you they're making less than their white male counterparts, simply because of their perception of themselves. So the reason why I dress the way I dress and I do the things the way I do them is to do the same thing that you guys do, is to show people that look like me that it's possible. You can make it. I came from nothing. You guys came from less than nothing, being a woman. You have so much against you in this industry that it's, you know, you probably don't even feel it. But luckily I see it because I know where this industry has gone. I've been doing this for 15, 20 years. And it's because of people like you that change the perception of what the industry is all about, what the perception of what the industry is to the other side of the fence, the consumer. And I just want to thank you guys for coming in again.
Thank you.
And this is like one of the most important things I've done in my career. So I really appreciate you participating in this.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap. Thanks.
It's a rapidy rap.
It's a wrap.